Preparing now to stream live.
So whenever there is a level of anxiety, there is underlying fear. Fear is an emotion that helps us to keep away or to protect ourselves from danger. But our mind can be so active and sometimes overactive, overthinking, that we imagine fear, like, oh, feeling something in our throat. And then we start to feel worried. Although maybe there's nothing there, but because of psychosomatic effect, which means psychologically we think, we imagine it, and that translates to something that is actually felt as a sensation in the body. That's how powerful our mind is. So we can worry ourselves sick because we think that we're going to be sick. We think something is going wrong with the body, and we instigate things to go wrong in our body. So if we start to have healthy thoughts, we also result in our body being much healthier. If you notice the people around you, those who complain a lot, those who are miserable, um, criticizing, they tend to have health that is not as good as someone that is cheerful, someone who is positive minded, and focuses on what needs to be done and get things done. They tend to have better health. So just look around you, observe if that is true as a theory. So when we feel nervous, when we are feeling scared, we would have sensations in our body, especially in our chest area, sensing that there's this tightening in the chest. So when we do have a very strong sense of anxiety, what happens is that we would have this tightened chest to the point that we feel sometimes breathless, or we start to have a breathing rate that is increased because we have to take in more breaths to be able to take in the same amount of oxygen because of the tightening around our chest area. There may also be tightening in our gut area where the stomach is. And for some people, this becomes irritable bowel syndrome, or get what you call like gastric, as they call it. So this is also a psychosomatic effect of fear, of the thoughts in our mind that are negative in nature, causing us to imagine things going wrong, predicting things not going our way, predicting that something is going to happen, or something has happened, we imagine it. So this mind, while it's so powerful, that enables humans to be able to put another human on the moon, it has also the ability for us to worry ourselves sick. And that worrying causing these changes in sensations, shoulders tightening, neck feeling tightened, and even headaches coming on because of catastrophized thinking that is going on. So we have the ability now to train our mind using mindfulness techniques to bring more calm to the mind, letting all these thoughts settle. And how do they settle? By not putting in more thoughts, not thinking even more, analyzing even more, and responding to these thoughts with more thoughts. So instead, we just take a deep breath, dropping into our body, feeling the breath. So when we are not focusing on the thoughts, you will find less thoughts will be generated by the mind. When we are engaging these thoughts, then the mind will shoot out even more thoughts. And some or many of these thoughts are not even the truth. Some of or many of these thoughts are not even reflection of the reality. That is why it's so important to be able to drop back into our breath. And this also releases our muscles from being tense. It relaxes the body. And our blood pressure normalizes. The thickness of our blood changes from being really thick when we're under a lot of stress, when we're feeling tense, to normalizing to the normal consistency. So even the quality of our blood is affected by fear, because it activates the fight-flight response system in our body, which is also known as the stress response system, which is why mindfulness has become recognized by the scientific and medical community that it can reduce stress and that it's effective and it works. The key is to putting it into practice. And practice means we do it every time we notice the tightening in our chest, tightening in our shoulders, or the gut, or feeling a oncoming tightening of the head, which could result in a headache. So is to pause, take that deep breath, and feeling this body. And some of you may say it doesn't work. Well, that's because you're thinking. That's because you are yet anticipating. Take a few deep breaths. Just let your mind slowly focus on the breathing and slowly get used to just being with this breath. To be aware of the fear as an emotion that we are feeling as we're feeling it. So once a day, twice a day can be just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You don't need to be ambitious and say you're going to do half an hour. And we have audio tracks online on the Brahm Center website that you can click on at any time to follow any of those mindfulness practice. Elaine, if you haven't taken a course, please come and take a course. The best one for you will be called the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. That 8-week course is about first making you aware of the connection between the mind and the body, and then making you aware of the stress triggers in your life. Who triggers you? What triggers you? So that you are, with that awareness, you can shift your response. Because sometimes by just hearing one word or one phrase from somebody can trigger us off. And then we get so worked up, we get so upset. And usually it happens to be the person we live with, or a person very dear to us, or someone in the office. So when we are aware of the trigger and we have that space in our mind by being able to stop, that pause, breathe, that we can focus on now, what are my choices of response? Instead of reacting. Something triggers, we react. This triggers, we react again. And it's like a repeat every day. Now, with the mindfulness practice, the ability to pause, take a deep breath, gives us that space and time to decide how do we best respond. And sometimes the best response is not to respond. You don't have to always answer right away. You can just sit and say, let me think about it. I've been triggered. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. That in itself is also a response. Because when the trigger has now been tamed, that means we are normalizing, then we can think more clearly. Because at the time, at that moment when we're triggered, there'll be so many thoughts gushing into our mind. Most of these are judgments, negative in nature. And this causes us to erupt. So when we feel that eruption coming up, is to take that deep breath and just sit, stay, pause, and let that anger fizzle out, dissolve, which is very different from suppressing it. Suppressing it means you're still thinking, you're just holding it in. No. Instead, we notice that there is this heat in our body, this anger that's arising, or fear, but we're not going to act on it. We're not going to let it become a statement or an action. We're just sitting with it, feeling it, noticing the sensations in our body, and letting it come by just doing nothing. Doing nothing is something. And for most people, doing nothing might be the hardest thing, which is why in a mindfulness-based stress reduction program, we have a 1-day silent retreat to learn not to speak for at least 6 hours, to learn to practice being in the moment, to be able to let things rise, thoughts arise, and to be able to stop ourselves even though there's an urge to say something, even though there's an urge to ask a question, because of silence being practiced, we realize by not being able to say something, ask something, that thought just goes away. And that is powerful to realize that we don't have to act on every thought. Okay, so that's the short talk before we do this practice. So now we're going to go on to a practice. So Lily, I'll answer your question later on. Will not responding build up more stress? Not if you dissolve the stress. As I said, it is not about suppression. It's about letting go. Letting go is something we actually do every day. We have to let go of one place to walk to another place. We have to let go of foot before we can move the foot forward. We have to let go of one word before we can speak another word. So letting go is not something that we do that's so unusual, but it's when we're stuck with something, that we have latched onto something, is to have that mindfulness to let it go. That is the practice of first awareness, and then taking the positive step in learning how to let go so that we can move forward. What we're usually not letting go of is really the thoughts, the mind that latches onto a thought, latches onto an event. That's why it plays and plays again in the mind. And that is really what's causing stress, because the event has really happened and it's over. But it is the rumination, the rethinking, the judgments is what we're not letting go. So it's all in the mind. Okay, so now we're going to start our practice, and I'm going to be doing body scan today. So first of all, I'd like to invite you to notice your shoulders again. Are they light? Are they relaxed, or are they tense? And so we're just going to rotate our shoulders. And if you've been doing shoulder rotation, this becomes easier. Changing direction. Good. And now our neck, turning to the right and left, right and left. And now dropping the ear to one side and doing the rotation. And always respect the limits of the body. So in this case, your neck. So rotate it in a way that it doesn't cause any injury, but it helps to stimulate the lubrication in the joints of the neck. So because I do this every day, I don't hear any crackling in my neck. Some of you may be hearing the crackling because your joints are stiff. So now take 3 beautiful deep breaths. And dropping into your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. And now, focusing your attention into your feet, gently moving your toes, starting with the big toes and all your other toes, and even the little toes, sensing the soles of your feet against the footwear that you're wearing at this moment, your heels, noticing the top of your feet. And if you're wearing sandals, you could probably sense the sandal straps over the top of your feet. Or if you have socks on, you could feel the socks around your feet. Relaxing your ankles. You can move your feet side to side. And then sliding up the lower parts of your legs, sensing into the calf muscles and relaxing the calf muscles, the shins, the knees, and the hands on your lap, your thighs, the back of your thighs, and sense the back of your thighs against the seat of the chair. Noticing your bum, and that both sides of your bum are taking the weight of your torso equally. And check that you're sitting upright and balanced between the two sides of your bum. Sensing into your lower back and relaxing the lower back. If you find thoughts coming into your mind, it's okay, that's normal. Just shift your focus back into the body part that we're on right now, which is the lower back. And welcoming any sensations that you may feel in the lower back. And then scanning up the spine, relaxing both sides of the spine. Feeling your breath going down the spine. Sensing to the shoulders, and feel free to move your shoulders again to release any tension or tightness in the shoulders. Sliding down your arms, feeling into the elbows, and scanning down your forearms into the wrists. Move your hands side to side, moving your fingers, relaxing your fingers, sensing the back of your hands. And notice your palms, if they're damp or dry, warm or cold. And letting go of your hand now. So even in the practice of mindfulness, there is letting go of your hands, and now shift the focus into your abdomen. And feel the breath going to your abdomen. Feeling the breath relaxing your abdomen. Breathing in relaxation. So anxiety causes the gut to tighten up. And also the tightening of the chest. So now we focus on the chest. And very gently breathe in relaxation into the chest area. Up into the neck. And move your head side to side or front and back. And release any tightness that could still be present in the neck. It's also a good time to pull your head back if you find that the head is not aligned with the shoulders. And you can do all this by just sensing your head, your neck, your shoulders. Now scanning up to your jaw, relaxing your jaw muscles, your cheeks, and let a smile fall gently on your face. Give me a smile. Noticing the air going through the nostrils, just above your lip. And feeling a sense of gratitude for the presence of the breath. And then scan around the eyes, noticing the presence of your eyeballs and the eyelids, even the eyebrows, and the space between the eyebrows where normally there is a frown. When we're focusing on things or thinking, scanning across the forehead and all around your head, sensing into the scalp. And you may notice some tingling sensations on the scalp. They're perfectly normal. And sense around the ears, into the back of the neck, and then dropping back into this beautiful breath that's keeping us alive. That each breath gives us time. Time to practice. Time to feel happiness, which is right under our nose. When we're able to just focus on this beautiful breath, there are no thoughts that steal our happiness away, which is our sense of peace. So when we're really into our breath, there is nothing else in our mind, but just the sheer connection between the mind and the breath. And as we do this practice, we will begin to realize that peace equals happiness. When we have peace of mind, we're actually happy. So just feel what it's like for this breath to go in and out of the nostrils and our lungs expanding and contracting. feel how this breath oxygenates the entire body, keeping this body alive. We can survive a few days without food or even water. But we can't survive very long without this breath. A few minutes maybe. And even then, we risk brain damage. So this breath is so precious. Without this breath, our life will be over. Or our heart or brain that could be severely damaged. So value this breath. Be grateful for this breath. And it's important to have a sense of gratitude towards the breath. Because then we want to hang out with it. We want to just be with the breath. Because it's such a great friend. So every time you notice a thought arising, that's okay. There's no need to shut all the thoughts out. This is the practice of just reconnecting with the breath. And it's how we let go of the thought. The more you pay attention to the thought, the more thoughts your mind will generate for you. So all we need to do to let go is just to shift our attention back into the breath. And after a while, the mind realizes there's no point generating more thoughts because you're not paying attention. So noticing that each breath we take in, we had to let go of the previous breath. So each moment is a new breath. So to learn from nature, the nature of breathing, letting go. We will not be able to take the next breath in if we don't let go of this current breath. So we can't be ready for the next moment if we don't know how to let go of the thoughts in our head of the previous moment when it doesn't serve us well. And now focusing on 3 more beautiful breaths. And at the end of the 3rd breath, open your eyes. Okay, how was that for you? Love to hear your feedback. What did you notice going on in your mind as you were focusing on your breath? What did you notice about your breath? About the different parts of your body? Which part of your body felt tense, tightness, or even pain or aches? Please share with everyone. You have an option to share with all panelists and attendees, and if that being the case, all the other attendees can also read your comment. If you choose only all panelists, then only I can read it. Thank you, Christopher. You mentioned you can concentrate better, though at times it wandered away. And that's fine. That's normal. Well done. Solidified forehead. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean you feel a forehead that's really solid, or you feeling that's really tense? If it's feeling solid forehead, okay, but does it feel uncomfortable or was it comfortable? Thank you, Elizabeth. Now your shoulders are less tight. And Elaine, you've become more aware that you weren't tuned to your body. Wonderful. Okay, so thank you, Bong, for clarifying that it wasn't comfortable. Okay, first of all is to accept. Accept that you are having a sensation of a very solid forehead. So it's not to try to get rid of that solidness, but to just breathe kindness into it. So right now, just close your eyes. Whoever is feeling solidness or very tight sensation anywhere, or even pain, just close your eyes and just breathe into it with kindness. That sensation is trying to tell you something that is probably very tense there. So you just give it some relaxation, breathe relaxation into it. Feeling grateful for that sensation, which is different from feeling anger towards a sensation. Sometimes people feel angry towards pain. No, the pain is there for a reason, to alert you that please give this area some kindness, some relaxation. It's calling out to you. So instead is to acknowledge the pain and say, thank you, pain, for being so kind, to letting me know what you need. So you just breathe kindness into it. Breathe relaxation into it and see what happens. Okay, so Lily's saying that concentrating on her back as you're having backache, and it's better now. Very good. I needed this after the demise of my mother 2 days ago. Thank you, Basanti. We will go through life having to separate from many things in our life. Sometimes it's separation from something that is broken, separating from something that is old and it needs to be replaced, separating from a friend that we've been hanging out with or we've been visiting in another country after the holiday comes to an end, separating from our children who now has become independent and moving on, separating from our parents who are growing older and they die, separating from our jobs. And that's why we move from one job to another job when we feel that we have outgrown the job or the job has outgrown us. So learning how to let go is a skill that is going to be valuable for everything happening in our life. Instead is to appreciate what we have when we have it. Instead of anticipating, wishing for something else, and not appreciating what we have currently. So when you're in a job right now, is to focus on what is it that you can do that allows you to contribute into the job, giving your service, giving your care, and focusing on the positives about the job that you're in. Because this mind has a tendency to focus on the negatives. So it's to shift that focus from focusing on the negatives to focusing on the positives of the job. I've also come across, and I too probably have done it, people who focus on the negatives when their parents are alive, We complain about certain aspects of their nature, and we're not focusing on the positives and on all the wonderful contributions they have made to our lives, that we have the life that we have now. And a lot of times after our parents have died, then we start to focus on all the positives. And then we end up missing them so much, and we feel guilty, we feel regret. So instead, is to acknowledge, I could have done better. But the reality is, whatever you did in the past was actually your best. Because if you could have done better, like really could have done better, you would have. It's like taking an exam. If we could have done better, we would have done better. But that was the best at that time. Maybe because we didn't know how to study well, we didn't spot the right questions, or we overlooked something. Well, that's life. Let go. Move on. Now focus on the people who are still alive. Appreciate those who are still around us. And that's how we have to learn to let go and refocus our mind. Thank you, Basanti, for mentioning that. I can't help but notice my body is lopsided when I relax and let go. Is this a sign for me to seek medical attention? Well, sometimes it's because there's one side of our body that's very, very tense and tight. So when we start to relax, it may cause you to lean to one side. And that's okay. Just let your body lean. And maybe it's releasing some of the tightness and tension. And after that, you can readjust back. So go with the flow when you relax, if the body is leaning to one side. Okay? So there's no need to worry. Okay, let me see if I missed anything else. Thank you, Christopher, for your comment. A good time to stop, relook at ourselves, and to continue for the second half of the day. My shoulders and neck are still feeling a little tense. Much less tense, though, than last week. You're doing well, Elaine. Well done. So learning to let go is going to be a progressive journey. It's not going to be immediately. Because if there is pain somewhere, it takes time for those muscles to slowly relax and then for that pain sensation to go away. It's not going to be instantaneous. When we take medication, it feels instantaneous because what it does, it is just shutting down our receptors to pain. It's not that the tightness is gone, and it's not that the pain sensation is no longer there. Our brain has just been cut off to be able to sense it and to interpret it. So if we can do without painkillers, it's much better, because then we can connect with our body and know which part of the body has the tension, the tightness, in order for us to breathe into it, to breathe the relaxation and to make our posture adjustments. Okay? Now, coming to fear, notice how often fear has stopped you from even suggesting something, because we're afraid that people will laugh at our suggestion. We're afraid what people are going to say about the suggestion or the commentary that comes after that. Give it a go. Make a suggestion. See what happens. If someone really said, that's not a good suggestion, they said, oh, then ask another question. What do you suggest then? So it shows that we are willing to put forth our suggestion and we're willing to be judged, because from there we learn. But fear can stop us from learning because we don't even dare to make a suggestion. So how can we improve on the suggestions that we make? If you have a question, do ask. If you don't ask, you never get the answer. And if it's an answer you need to do your job better, an answer you need in order to be able to move on, it is important that you ask the question. But fear has this ability to stop us. Oh, I better not ask, because if I ask, then people will know that I don't know. Well, The fact is, you don't know. By not asking, you still don't know. And how could you then learn and improve yourself if you still don't know what to do? So don't let fear stop you from progressing, because fear can paralyze you. And then you are the one who would be at the losing end. And if you do ask a question that is not so appropriate, then accept the feedback. Then you learn how to rephrase your question, how to improve on the quality of your question. But if you don't even ask, no one is even going to help you realize that you could rephrase your question. So when we're also able to put our ego aside, we're more willing to take risks. Many of us are fearful of rejection, because when someone says no to us, we actually get this sensation in our body of cringing. We get anxious. We're so worried what people think of us, and we feel that it's a threat to our reputation. That's why we're afraid to ask, because of the fear of an answer coming back that makes us feel stupid. And how does that feeling come about? The commentary in our head. Oh no, I asked a stupid question. Oh no, now these people think I'm stupid. Oh no, how? I'm never going to progress in this place. Nobody's going to take me seriously. Wow, all that commentary. I'd like you to become aware of it, because it's exactly this commentary that's going on in the mind that is disempowering you. Take a deep breath. Oh, they may think I'm stupid. Okay, lor. It's okay. People think I'm stupid. Do you think you're stupid? That's more important. If you know you're not stupid, but you do lack certain information or you do lack certain skills, that's very different. So you need to be confident about yourself, that by knowing who you are, not pretending. And we learn more when we take risks. So put aside the fear, put aside the commentary, being aware the commentary is happening, and take a deep breath and drop back into your breath. That is the mindfulness practice in retraining the mind to reduce the commentary. Okay, so now let me read some of the comments here. I see 2 messages. What is the difference between breathing into a muscle to relax it, and massaging yourself? You could do both. So for example, if you feel tightness in the arm here, you can press it, you can massage it, and breathe into it. That means you're focusing on the area as you massage it, and then you will start to notice that's actually not the entire arm that is feeling painful, or it's aching, or it's tight. It's usually one spot somewhere, and you would locate it. And then you can very gently massage that spot while breathing into it. And the relaxation happens faster because you're focused on exactly the exact spot where it's really, really tight. So wherever in your body you feel, wow, it's very tight, massage it, and then you will locate the spot. Like now, I can locate this exact spot on this side of the arm where I feel some aches. And this is a result of the past when I was overusing my mobile phone typing. And the muscle here usually locks up. Okay? Question here is, what is unique about Singapore Mindfulness Conference? It is not a conference that you're just going to sit there and listen to lectures and presentations and talk one after another, and then you might start to feel fatigue. This one, there is going to be dialogue, there's going to be workshops, and the people that we invite A lot of them are going to be sharing not just the science, not just their the knowledge, the theory, but also the experiences. So we could be very much um, inspired by how mindfulness really changes their lives, how it really improves them, so that we're not just reading something and believing it. So those of you who haven't signed up for the Singapore Mindfulness Conference, please do so. We have a promotion going on, 33% off by using the promo code SOTY. SOTY stands for Singaporean of the Year. So I encourage you to register for that and also to support us. I hope that with this mindfulness session every day, you are starting to feel that there is benefit to your well-being. So thank you for that question. So all you need to do is to sign on to Eventbrite or go to our website and click on Singapore Mindfulness Conference to book the tickets. And if you are from Raffles Institution, there are tickets that have been sponsored for you. So if you have children as well who go to Raffles Institution, they can also get tickets. Thank you, Elaine, for your kind compliment. Today's session was amazingly helpful. Thank you so much. Now, those of you who are on Facebook, I'd just like you to know that I don't usually access the comments on the Facebook, so but I'm trying to do that now. But it's not really working. So if you like to make comments, please join the Zoom platform so that I can read your comments and respond to your questions as well. Okay, so those of you who have to sign off before completing the next segment of our mindfulness practice, I just let you know that tomorrow I am going for my eye surgery to remove the pterygium. I'm told that it's a very short surgery procedure. So I won't be conducting the session tomorrow, but our mindful psychologist, Eric Lim, will be. So still make sure you join in tomorrow. And he's a very good instructor, very good trainer. So be here for him to be inspired and also to be guided by him. Okay, thank you, Elaine, for that kind word. So now let's take 3 deep breaths. Closing your eyes, hands on your lap, and check into your posture, sitting upright. And I'm going to invite you to follow this practice in expressing gratitude towards the different parts of our body. So starting with our feet, feeling into our feet and wishing our feet to be well and healthy. Even if your little toe is injured, you would not just be able to stand up and walk. You would be limping. So this is how precious our feet are, including our little toes that we often take for granted. And now feeling into our legs and wishing our legs, may our legs be well and healthy. That we can bend our knees, walk up steps, run, jump. These legs take us everywhere. Without these legs, imagine we would be on a wheelchair and we probably need to depend on someone to push our wheelchair around in order for us to get from one place to another. So that's how precious our legs are. It is the ability for us to have the freedom to go everywhere we would like to go. Now sensing to our bum. To be grateful to have this bum that we can sit on. If not, we will not be sitting upright on this chair. The bum balances us with the help of our thighs. And now as we sense into our spine, wishing our spine to be well and healthy. Without our spine, or if we have a spinal injury, we won't be able to sit up, or we might even lose the ability to sense certain parts of our limbs. If we have a slip disc, as some people have, there is so much pain. So to be thankful that we have a healthy spine and we can sit upright. Sensing to our abdomen, wishing all our organs in the abdomen to be well and healthy. Our kidneys, our liver, our genitalia, the intestines, the bladder, the uterus, the stomach, the spleen, pancreas. And moving up to our chest, may our lungs and heart be well and healthy. Without the ability to breathe, we would be put on a life support system to help us breathe, or a pump to circulate our blood if our heart wasn't working properly. Sensing to our shoulders, our arms, our hands and fingers. Wishing our shoulders, our arms, hands and fingers to be well and healthy. Even if one finger is injured, we will be limited by picking up the phone, texting, washing our hands, feeding ourselves, combing our hair, washing our face and body, opening doors. So many things our hands and our arms do by being able to extend it forward and moving it back. Feeling to our neck, being thankful for a neck, wishing our neck to be well and healthy, our throat for being able to swallow, our mouth be able to eat, chew on our food, drink, taste. So when you eat your lunch afterwards, feel a sense of gratitude that you can taste your food, you can chew and move the food around with your tongue and swallow. Feel the sensation of the breath with your nose. May my nose be well and healthy, that I can breathe. I don't need a tube to help me breathe. And I can smell the different fragrances. My eyes, may my eyes be well and healthy, that we have vision, sight. We see our loved ones, see where we're going, appreciate the beauty, recognize danger to be able to keep our body safe. Feeling to the brain, be thankful we have a brain that is in good order. Can translate all the different signals coming in. The control system works, that synchronizes everything that goes on in our body. We're able to move our limbs. We're able to think, to work, to earn a living. So for us to be alive, there's so many parts of this body that is working, in synchronized manner. So even if our job is threatened, the most important thing is to have our health. And not forgetting our immunity system, our blood system, our bone marrow, everything that goes on in this body is contributed by so many parts working in good order. So may this body be well and healthy. May the mind be well and healthy. And now, taking 3 breaths of gratitude. At the end of the 3rd breath, opening your eyes. So focus on what is going for you, that is going well. A few things not going well, defocus on them. If you can fix them, fix them. If you can't fix them, accept that's just the way it is. Let go. Focus your mind on what you can fix. Then you're not wasting your mental energy and you're not going to end up feeling tired because you feel like there's so many things you can't do, so many things you can't fix. Focus on what you can fix. Focus on what you can make a positive difference. Focus on the words that you can improve on to bring more joy into your life and the joy in the life of others. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. Yes, this is the mind-loving kind of session that is also on our body. And thank you for wishing me a smooth surgery. So I expect that I will be able to conduct the session on Thursday because it's only the surface of the eye that is getting some work on. And I will probably be coming back with a patch. So expect me to be looking like a little pirate. And I look forward to connecting with you again on Thursday. So as you can see, I'm very positive about the surgery. I'm not thinking about how it's going to go wrong and that I could be in the moment and still serving you. So can you. It just takes practice to be in the moment and not think ahead too much. When tomorrow comes, it will be a new day. All right, everyone. Have a great day ahead of you and see you again on Thursday. Bye.